Oh my God. Hold on, let me pull up my notes because I have notes. Oh my God. Okay. Notes. Everyone, hi guys. Hi guys, today's video is Zeus, move. Zeus, can you move? Or maybe on this side. Pick a side, you can't just sit there. Can you come over here? Can you come over here? Can you, like, come over here? Like, sit down, you have to sit down. Hi, sit down. Hi guys, today's video is on fostering. On some notes because we are going to be as organized as possible, okay? First and foremost, what is animal fostering? Animal fostering is the idea that you take in a stray animal from either the streets or the shelter or just anywhere that you can find a homeless animal in need into your home, care for the animal for a period of time. And that period of time can be like until the animal is ready to go back to the shelter or the animal is ready to be adopted and you found the animal a forever home, or the animal is ready to be transported. There's so many different ways to find an animal a good home. There's also not one designated right way to find an animal home. Two ways that you can foster. You can either foster through a shelter or you can foster through a private rescue. I personally right now am fostering for a shelter, and when my dogs are ready to leave, and oh my God. Really? Really? Actually, my foster puppy right here, Marissa, I foster through the Houston SPCA, and it's a physical shelter. And when she is old enough and ready to go get adopted, she'll get spayed and she'll be moved to the adoption floor. So I keep her until she's ready and healthy enough to be adopted. So she ultimately goes back to the shelter, and she gets moved to the adoption center, and that's where her forever home will find her. The second way that you can foster is through a private rescue, and most private rescues do not have a physical shelter, so they depend on fosters. That's the only way that their rescue can operate and their rescue can run is if they have fosters to take in these animals. Usually shelters have way more resources than a rescue does, so that's ultimately why I decided to switch from fostering from a private rescue to a shelter. Little baby. How do you start fostering? This is definitely easier said than done. All you do to start fostering is you look up a shelter or a rescue in need of a foster. It's so very easy to start fostering an animal because that is one of like the most needed volunteer work when you're working in animal welfare. A brave soul, brave enough to take in a stray animal into their home, very sought after. What I recommend doing if you're interested in fostering is definitely really do your research on the organization that you want to foster for. There are really bad rescues out there as well as really terrible shelters. These are going to be the things that you're going to want to consider when choosing an organization to volunteer for. When you're looking through all of the organizations and picking the ones that you might consider fostering for, I highly recommend you also take a look at their adoption process. You want to make sure you yourself agree with the adoption process, and you want to make sure that you agree with the adoption fee, which is just a price that you pay for the dog adoption. I know that sounds weird, but there's a lot of very questionable rescues and shelters out there where the adoption fee just does not match. Like, I've seen adoption fees from like $900 all the way up to $4,000. And there are a lot of breeders out there that kind of mask themselves as adoption agencies. Secondly, you want to look through your foster contract because you're going to have to sign something stating that you understand all the rules and regulations in the foster contract. Come here. These are some of the questions that you are going to want to ask the organization that you're thinking about fostering for. The first question is, how long are you supposed to foster this animal? For example, like most rescues will want you to foster the animal for as long as it takes for the animal to get adopted. Okay, you can go. Okay, I'm sorry. She wants to leave. Go, you can leave, you can leave. In my experience in the Houston area, a private rescue, if you choose to go that route, they're going to want you to foster the animal until the animal finds its forever home. Right now, I am fostering for a shelter, and the shelter only needs you to foster the animal until the animal is ready, good to go for adoption, and then they get transferred to the adoption center. The next thing you're going to ask is about financial responsibility. From all of the organizations that I have fostered for in the past, the financial responsibility falls on the rescue and or the shelter that you're volunteering for. Usually the foster does not have to put in any of their money. However, in private rescues that are not very well funded, they might ask you to pay first and then they'll reimburse you later. Right now, I'm volunteering for a shelter and they take care of everything because all the food, bed, donations, and everything is allocated in one place because they have a physical shelter. And veterinarian care is also in one place because they have a physical vet office and medical wing. So I don't have to worry about any of those things. And also financial on the food, bedding, crates, playpen, beds, just anything that you're going to need to take care of the animal. Like, will the shelter or rescue supply it for you, or are you going to have to put that money out yourself? I sometimes purchase a lot of stuff for my fosterers myself, mainly because either it wasn't available in the donation area at the shelter that I'm fostering at, or I really needed it for my foster to like make my life a little bit easier. For example, there's one right here. This slow feeder, I bought my fosters this. I've recycled this several times with several of my fosters, but this isn't necessarily something that I got at the shelter or they provided me. You also want to ask what you are responsible for. Are you responsible for finding the animal a home? Are you responsible for taking the animal to all adoption events? She's back. Come here. Come here, baby. Maybe she's not back. I'm just going to continue to hold this until she comes back in. Little baby? Come here. She's coming. Hi, welcome back. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. Are you going to be responsible for driving her to the adoption event? Are you going to be responsible for taking her photos, sending in like content of her to help her get adopted? Like, you need to know all this. For example, every 2 weeks I am responsible for driving her back to the shelter to get her regular checkups. And if you don't have a good means of transportation, fostering for the shelter that I'm currently fostering for is probably not a good idea and not a good fit. And if you're thinking that you need a car to foster an animal, you actually don't. There's a lot of rescues out there that are very robust in volunteers that do very tiny tasks. And one of the most popular volunteer work, if you want to help out in animal welfare, is transporting animals from point A to point B, like from like someone's home to the vet, or like taking them to like meet their new family if like the foster family isn't readily available to do that. Oh my god, my leg is asleep. You want to consider the type of animal you want to have in your house. Like, don't overstrain yourself. Like, just think about if you have any pets, think about like what your pet needs in order for your pet to live its ordinary life, as if like there's no disruption at all. Like with Zeus, he actually really loves having fosters, and I know several dog fosters that have dogs that feel the same way, that they love the excitement, they love little like puppies running around, and they know that they're puppies, so they know that they're automatically the alpha which is, by the way, why I had to stop fostering like grown dogs, because the older that monkey got, the more territorial and the more angry he got that an older dog was like in the house. So I did that mainly for him. Like with puppies, he technically, any puppy under 2 weeks of age, he has no idea what they are. He thinks they're like rodents or something. But Zeus loves fosters, and because of my fosters is why Zeus actually trusts me as a human, because I just adopted Zeus like 18 months ago, and my fosters are definitely the reason why he trusts me, and he is the way that he is around me. Because when I used to walk him before I even brought him into my house to foster, he didn't trust me at all. He didn't come when I called him. I just walked him. He was just like, just give me my exercise and leave me alone. But the more fosters I foster, the more affectionate he gets with me. It's been like a really absolutely amazing like experience. Also, aside from asking how long you have to foster for, you definitely want to ask, what if you cannot foster the animal anymore? This is one of my biggest problems as to why I left private rescue, is that they never have like a physical shelter, and private rescues, they never have a foster on hand to kind of take over if a foster bails. Like for example, if I can't foster Marissa anymore and I foster through a private rescue, they're going to need time to find another rescue, so I wouldn't be able to hand her off immediately. And if there was like an accident, which I've dealt with before, like I once fostered these 3 puppies, and 2 of them, or the alpha, had this crazy aggression with one of them. And one day I got out of the shower and the alpha one attacked the tiny one. He was bleeding, hiding behind my couch. And when that situation arose, all I did was called my shelter, called their emergency line, and the ambulance came and got the 2 injured ones to take them for medical care. Also, with the one that attacked the smaller one, he obviously couldn't come back here to my home. It was like actually pretty great because he was ready for adoption anyway, so he just went and got neutered and went to the adoption center. But if he wasn't allowed back here, like where would he go? Like in my case, he would go back to the shelter. They would have a designated area for him, and they would try and find another foster for him if he needed one. Also, if you go on vacation, where does the dog go? I say this all the time to people who are thinking about fostering. You should never give up anything that you would normally do in your own life to foster. Like fostering should be something that you want to do to help your community, to help the animal overpopulation, and also to help an animal in need, but you should never jeopardize your own life. I want it to be a positive experience. And so I always say that like if you want to go on vacation, fostering should never hinder your vacation. And with me, the shelter has a very strong temporary foster network. And so if I go on vacation like next week, like she'll just go to another foster for a couple of days. The foster gets adopted and then gets returned. What happens to that foster? They do get returned, even in private rescue. I know in shelters, the numbers are much higher for animal return because their output is so much higher than a private rescue. But like dogs do get returned to private rescues. I've had several dogs get returned to me in a private rescue. So those would be the questions that I would ask an organization before I decide to volunteer for them. And oh my God, she just passed gas. Oh God, on my lap. Oh my God. Oh fuck. Ew. Oh my God. Time out. Jesus Christ. That was lethal. It was one of those silent lethal ones. Y'all. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, but anyways, yeah, those are, what was I saying? Oh my God. Okay, but yeah, so those are like the questions that I would ask. And I only came up with those questions because I have personally dealt with those types of situations head on, and they're not fun. Like, they cause you a lot of stress. And to be perfectly honest with everyone, fostering an animal, like a wild animal, from the streets or from whatever situation that they're in, that's stressful enough. Trust me. Like, and I've gone through all of it, and I personally have gone through so many situations fostering and volunteering that, like, I have slowly, throughout the like 6 or 7 years that I've been fostering, I slowly, oh my God, Marissa! Oh my God, what was I even saying? Hi everyone, I'm back. I'm sorry. I literally had to unroll this background and air that out, because that second bomb she dropped on my lap was definitely way more lethal than the first. What was I even saying, you stinky butt? Now let's move on to why you should foster. I'm going to read to you guys some statistics, actually, and I think it would really like help you guys understand why I foster, why I always advocate for fostering, adopting, and volunteering. Hold on, someone's texting me some really hot gossip right now, and I have to text, but I might edit this out, or I might leave it, because it's just like spilling the tea is part of me being myself. You don't go over there and confront that woman. Oh my God. All right, the joys of fostering. Let's go. Oh, obviously you guys can see from all the videos that I post on social media, they are amazing. Like, they are a joy. The puppies that I foster, even like when I used to foster like grown dogs, they're so much fun to have around. Another very legitimate reason to why I should consider fostering, and it's based on these statistics. 6 to 8 million animals enter the US animal shelter every year. 3.3 million dogs, 3.2 million cats, and roughly 1.5 million of those animals get euthanized. If you surrender your dog to the shelter, just know that that dog will be the first on the list to get euthanized, even if it's a purebred dog. Because statistically, 25% of the dogs that get euthanized are purebred dogs. The regions in the US that have the biggest pet overpopulation crisis is Texas. I live in Houston, Texas, Alabama, and Tennessee. And it's definitely due to fewer spay-neuter initiatives and higher numbers of stray animals. A single unspayed female dog and her offspring can produce up to 67,000 puppies in just 6 years. For cats, an unspayed female and her descendants can produce up to 420,000 kittens over the course of her lifetime. So that is another reason why you should consider opening your home up to a pet. Oh my God, my legs sleep, That concludes my video on fostering, what it is, how you can get started. I will, in a later video, take you guys through the steps of taking a dog home and a first-time foster parent, like what you need, what you don't need. But I need to buy a new camera for that, because the camera that I'm recording on right now is not very mobile. So yeah, no idea how to end this YouTube video as per usual. So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna walk out of the camera, and I have to put her down, because I just cannot have her fart one more time on my lap. I have to shower. Oh my God. Oh, why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to fart like that?